This is the Earth to World Broadcasting Network.
Hi, welcome back to HFO-TV. I'm Greg Frick, partner with HFO Investment Real Estate. Today we're going to talk to Heidi McCauley of USI Insurance about some of the new opportunities about going green with your multifamily projects. Thanks again for coming again.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
I guess the first question would be, why should property owners or managers consider going alternatives of green or new construction on their projects?
You know, great question. I get a lot of questions around just kind of the whole green building movement, but I think overall a lot of property owners, managers are kind of just joining the movement. The number one real reason, I think, is lowering their energy costs.
Right.
I think that making the buildings more attractive to a potential tenant is always a plus, but also that it's becoming more and more difficult to avoid the federal, state, and municipal government mandates that are coming about with the green building requirements, particularly in the residential segment. Something to really keep in mind when thinking about going green is looking at your current insurance policy and addressing whether or not, if you in fact do have green elements in your building, do you have an adequate policy to replace those elements? There's certainly an increased cost associated with not only the materials, but finding the appropriate contractor. And if you're not green and considering maybe down the road going green, finding an insurance policy that potentially, if you did have a loss to the building, that you could find a carrier that would pay to upgrade the building to green. So
okay.
Those are available options.
And I'm assuming USI provides these kind of coverages with the green and the...
Absolutely. You know, there's a whole array of insurance companies out there that, depending upon the size of the property and the location of the property and the age of the property, there's lots of endorsements available. So it's really picking a broker that will walk you through and find the right match.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And what are some of the things property owners should know before they consider updating or bringing their new construction in with green techniques from an insurance side?
Well, I think again, it's being aware of the green standards. You know, that there's the LEED, which is the Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design. You hear that a lot if you're a platinum LEED or if you're a gold LEED
right.
building. It's the dominant standard in the U.S. It's administered through the U.S. Green Building Council. There's a website that we'll talk about towards the end. It's a great resource for property owners and managers to kind of look at them. What they've decided and determined through experience now is that LEED buildings have lower operating costs, obviously provide safer, healthier environments for their tenants, and that there are also lots of tax rebates and zoning allowances and other incentives by actually going green.
Oh, good. Okay. What in hiring a contractor to either get the building up to LEED or a new development, what should an owner consider when looking at that? And is there certain things from an insurance standpoint, different contractors? I mean, how do you guys look at that?
You know, I think it just kind of goes with the whole general approach of hiring a contractor, and it's first and foremost it's their experience. You know, are they in that arena? Do they have references that speak to those types of projects from their past? Obviously, from our insurance perspective, we're always wanting to make sure that our clients are aware that they're licensed and they're bonded and they're insured appropriately. And then also just be wary of overpromises. Certainly it's not a quick, easy process necessarily to become certified, and so any contractor that convinces you they can get it done in a short amount of time and for really cheap is probably somebody you should be concerned about. And then most importantly, you know, insurance people, it's always get it in writing. Contractually making sure that you've got two parties to the agreement and you're very clear about who's supposed to do what. A lot of times we're finding out that in the end, because this is still a fairly new method, that even after all is said and done, they're still not meeting the requirements of LEED certification. So it's a lot of lost time and money.
Got it.
Yeah.
And are they able to go back to those contractors through the insurance if we've got something in writing saying I'm going to get your building to this, certification that doesn't meet? Is that something that...
Bingo. You just nailed it right there, Greg. The contract have it in writing, have exactly the scope of work and the time frame that it's supposed to be done in, and certainly what the outcome, that the guarantees and the warranties. Again, back to your insurance agent, we're a great resource to kind of walk you through looking for the right elements of their insurance and their license and their bonding and so forth.
Oh, good, okay.
Yeah.
So if an owner's not ready to commit to going green or not able to, maybe it's an older building, are there things that they could do where they would also get some kind of benefit from an insurance standpoint for, being more green, so to speak?
Absolutely. I mean, I think that we're in the Great Northwest, so I mean, I think that we certainly have led the charge in many ways. Making and recycling a standard on the property is certainly a great offering, but not just providing the bins. I mean, it really becomes an education and an ability to assist your tenants on really the right way to do things, which then obviously reduces operating costs of the property. Even considering recycling the batteries and the ink cartridges is a great idea. Even areas where you could recycle unwanted clothing and shoes, and potentially then putting yourselves as a property owner to donate to local charities is a great step. The energy efficient bulbs and appliances, obviously it's when it's feasible. I mean, I think that the market has certainly driven those costs down, so I think they're becoming a little bit more cost efficient. And then using environmentally clean products certainly is helpful. It's important to note on the products, especially insurance companies are getting a whole lot more sensitive to when there's questions on an application around, do you store any hazardous products or chemicals? Well, over the years, I think even agents and owners and everybody has been guilty about overlooking a lot of the pesticides that are used in the upkeep of the lawns, and they're overlooking a lot of the products that are used in the cleanings and a lot of the chemicals used in the pools. And MSDS, these material safety data sheets that are really becoming sort of a thorn, depending on, especially for the property managers. The more that owners and managers can get into using the environmentally friendly products, the less they're going to have to worry about satisfying those MSD requirements.
So do you recommend for the owner to go actually into their storeroom and take a look? And
absolutely, anytime. You talk to your property managers. If you're an owner, find out from the managers. If they're not keeping any of the supplies right there on the property, then they're better off. But I would look in their sheds, look in their garages, and really be sure that they're getting a lot of that stuff out of there.
Got it. And if they do have to store that stuff, is it having a plan that's going to, for the insurance standpoint of, we have our plan on how we're handling this material?
Absolutely. How we're going to contain it and how we're going to prevent it, and really more importantly, how we're going to keep it away from little kids.
Right.
Sure.
Right. And I'm sure the plan needs to be in writing and all the staff aware of it. And
absolutely.
got it. Okay.
Absolutely.
For an owner, is there additional resource they consider if they want to consider going green, where they should look?
Yeah, I think that the U.S. Green Building Council, that's www.usgbc.org. Okay. Great website. I think because, again, they are really the dominant standard in the U.S. There's also in the city of Portland, there's the Bureau of Planning and Sustainability, and they're at portlandonline.com, and that certainly is definitely just right in the city of Portland. And then another great one is the Energy Trust, energytrust.org. Fantastic organization, great help and assistance in performing audits and helping understand where they can certainly become more efficient.
Yeah, we've used them a lot on some upgrades on windows and things like that for the units.
Absolutely.
Well, I think that's all the time we have for today. Thank you very much for coming again.
As always.
And we'll see you next time on HFO-TV. Thank you. Feel free to learn more about our firm by visiting our website or calling us directly. Thank you.
This is the Earth to World Broadcasting Network.